established some new goals and objectives this year.
Goals and objectives were a big part of the 4th annual Grand Vision Food and Farming Network Summit held at the Hagerty Center in Traverse City. One of the network's biggest new goals is to bring the amount of food purchased locally from the region's food and agriculture system to at least 20% by the year 2020. The Food and Farming Network set new goals so they'd be better aligned with the goals of the Michigan Good Food Charter, which was the focus of one of the presentations at the summit.
The Michigan Good Food Charter is a framing document for a policy initiative around moving towards a more Michigan-based food system that's centered on what we call good food, or food that's healthy, green, environmentally sustainable, that's fair, and that's affordable. The Michigan Good Food Charter puts forward a statewide vision, and then we really encourage communities locally to adapt that for their own context. And the Northwest Michigan Food and Farm Network has done a great job with that and is looking to align with the statewide goals, because we have resources that are currently in existence and in development to support communities in working toward those goals. It kind of provides a nice synergy if local communities can align with the statewide goals.
What their intent is to get develop a set of indicators around the state that we can all start measuring towards, measuring progress towards. And so if our goals are in line with that, then all of us collectively around the state can contribute towards that, so we know if we're making progress or not. And so that was one big change this year. I think it's positive.
Along with setting new goals, summit attendees were also reminded about the importance of continuing to improve the regional food system.
And making the case for the kind of investment that is needed, economics, environmental, social, community-based messages, I think are real important. We need to get a better handle on the kind of economic impact we would get with that development of that food hub, with the development of a brand, a regional brand. Northwest Michigan really has a sense of place and a sense of pride among its citizens, and also what I would call a culture of collaboration that's really unique. It doesn't exist everywhere in the country. Organizations willing to roll up their sleeves, coming together, solving a common problem, being able to share credit. These are ingredients that, even though they're small ingredients, they help make the stew a lot more flavorful when it comes to a regional food system.
One example of an effort to help the regional food system was presented during the Success Stories part of the summit. Phil Franzo from the Traverse City Area Chamber of Commerce talked about the Chamber's new commitment to require at least 20% of the food served at its events to come from local sources.
Other area organizations that have a membership can show that commitment, and that commitment can then trickle down to other members of that organization to say, hey, look, this does work. We can support other growers, other producers in the region by supporting that, and it can really gain some legs. Other organizations can make that commitment. Working with the Chamber, we want to work with them, tell the stories of what those other organizations are doing. What are the success stories? What are the best practices that we can make sure that this 20% commitment is reached each year?
The summit also gave the Food and Farming Network work groups an opportunity to meet in breakout sessions so they could set goals related to things including branding, infrastructure, and youth engagement.
We've got some clear direction on some work we have to do on if we're going to form a regional brand. That group has given us some direction, some ideas that we have to actually try to implement or try to work through the issues. Infrastructure, very similar. We were able to narrow in on some of the things that we have to do to get that particular working group moving forward.
I'm really excited about the progress that the work groups have made today and in the past. I guess today there was a youth engagement group that 4 kids went up and presented, and they pretty much blew everyone away. So I think the future, we're in good hands.